trees, your yellow leaves move me. Dancing roofs, your painted red shakes the room. When I get there, I'll let my feet roll. When I get there, I'll break in your arms, I'll lose control. When I get there, I'll know the answer. Let me know when I get close.
Hey everybody, happy Monday. This is Overpass Live. My name is Eric and I make apps. This has been a long time since I've done a live stream. It's got to be about 5 or 6 weeks at least. Dude, I'm sorry about it. Maybe nobody will show up today. That, it's always my fear is we're going to do a live stream and nobody's going to be here. Although Mega Man's commented, so thanks very much for that. So yeah, it's been ages since I've done a live stream. I did a video last Friday, which was the first time in, again, 5 weeks. And I think it was Coding with Chip asked me in the comments, like, if everything was okay. He was starting to worry about me. I was like, I just sort of lost my mojo for a while. Like you do. Sometimes, you take some time off of, going to the gym, where you like lose your momentum and then you have to get it back. So that's kind of what's happened here. So like everything's fine with me, everything's good, but I just have not been doing a lot of videos lately. I've been doing a lot of coding, I've been doing a lot of work, I've been doing a lot of the other kind of stuff, and it's just I've not been doing a whole lot of the video creation and everything like that. So anyway, I'm glad you guys are here. For those guys who are here, not a lot's been happening. I did a video last week. It seems like a lot of what I've been doing lately is focusing on AI generation tools. Like ChatGPT is the big one, obviously, which everybody knows about. It's in the news everywhere. So I did a video about that the other day, which I just sort of scratched the surface of the kind of stuff you could do with it. I've been looking into Midjourney to do I'm thinking, well, can I do thumbnail images through Midjourney? Could I do, and then also looking at Copilot, which I have not had to play with GitHub's Copilot. I know that's been around for ages, and it kind of seems like, do I need Copilot if I have ChatGPT? The only big benefit I could see is that it integrates better with the Visual Studio IDE and everything like that. But I haven't really had a good solid play with that. But I've been trying to use all these things to see how can things get more and more productive. I mean, one of the things at the end of last year, can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Just before I start rambling on, one of the things last year is like since about 2014, I've had this team of people in the Philippines. I had Sandy, my designer. I had virtual assistants. Last time was Ren. I was writing a lot of the content stuff, and it's one of those things you start to realize that a lot of that stuff could be done. Now, in a reason I would hire them so I could get some stuff done that I couldn't do. First of all, I don't have the image editing capabilities. Like I'm not an artist. I'm not a designer. And content writing, I could do content writing, but it just takes a lot of time. So have somebody else do it for me, just for the searchable and everything like that. And now with these AI tools, it's like, I'm spending, I'm paying for ChatGPT Plus. So I'm spending $20 a month, and it's one of those things where you're thinking, I don't know how we're going to survive like the job markets and everything going forward. Like, when automation took all the blue collar jobs, this is going to take a lot of the white collar jobs, and it's scary, but at the same time it's exciting. So the kind of stuff that we can generate and everything like that. So anyway, welcome to the live stream. I'm glad you guys are here. And I don't know if you guys noticed, one thing I've done in the last month, I've been working really hard on it, but I put on a lot of weight. So I put on at least 10 pounds since the last live stream. Dude, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Well, anyway, so let's have a look over here. Let's see who's here. Let's go to, let's see. Oh, so we got Mega Man's here. Hey, Mega Man, how's it going? Okay, we can hear you on the YouTube. Cool. Thanks, Morris. MD, how's it going? Oh, let me get just one second. Let me get the other light on here. There we go. MD, how's it going? Welcome back. I know, man, it's been ages. I don't even have like a really good reason. It's just been just busy, and what it is like, the only thing I can compare it to is the gym. So like when you got momentum and you're doing it every day, you don't even question it anymore. You're like, okay, it's 7 a.m. I got to get down to the gym. And I've been pretty good with that the last few years. And that was always that way when I was doing the daily videos and even the live streams. Like, no, I can't do it. Monday I'm busy. I'm doing the live stream on Monday. And then it gets to a point where it starts to get like, you know what? we can skip this week, or we can say even up to like an hour ago. I only scheduled it an hour ago. It just because I was thinking, well, you guys, you won't miss me. I'm like, but anyway, it's good there. And Morris said, "You look well fed." Oh dear, dude. Yes, I am well fed. I don't know if you said that before or after I talked about putting on the weight, but yes, I am well fed. And I'm, ooh, it's a slippery slope. I'm gonna do it. I put on a lot of muscle though. That's that's one thing more or something. I have put on a lot of muscle. I do. I measure my the biceps, everything like that. And I went from having 15.5-inch biceps to like 16-inch biceps. So there's that. But I'm also putting on the stomach, and I'm standing on that scale. And for me, I think only once in my life have I weighed over 200 pounds. And now I just weighed myself this afternoon. It was like 202. So, dude, something's gonna happen, But there's an obesity epidemic. So what can you do? I'm powerless. Anyway, I'm gonna do something with it. Thanks for noticing. Thanks for noticing, Morris. I was as I did, I thought, maybe I should start wearing bigger Overpass shirts. And I was like, nope, that's it. I'm gonna keep wearing this, so it forces me to remember it when I want to go to the fish and chips for dinner, and I'll be like, no, I gotta eat something a little bit more healthy. But it wanes. You just like everybody else. MD says, I'm seeing people installing very old versions of my app. Where are they downloading from, and how can I prevent it? I think that's one of those things that they try to do with the Google Play stuff, trying to prevent people from downloading from other sources and using the ProGuard and all that kind of stuff. But I had that too, where I had this thing with the EarSpy where people were pirating it, and which kind of bothered me. So to me, I would talk about, it's difficult because you got to reach out to them if they're using those old versions of your app. Well, first of all, if they're using old versions of the apps, could be one thing. It could be they can't upgrade. So if it's been out for a while, and let's say I'm on Android, let's say my phone won't upgrade past Android 8, and Android 9 is the minimum requirements, target version or whatever. Or is a minimum SDK version, not the target version, the minimum SDK version, then they're not going to be able to upgrade. They're going to still be using that old version. And so that's what you have to start thinking about. How do you push them onto the new version? You could either say, if you have an API, or even if you don't just have an API. So I've done this where I've just had a JSON file sitting on an FTP server, and I could just go put the minimum version the minimum version. And when the application, you can't do this for the retrospectively of the apps that are already downloaded, but put something in there so when the app opens up, it looks for that JSON file, it parses it, and it says, my version is this, the server says it should be this. And you should use, and there's code you could do it to do the version numbers. So you're if I'm on 1.0.5, then, if I want people to be on 1.0.5 and they're on 1.0.4, then it will show a toast message. Or you could even just show a screen that says you must upgrade. You could do that, but that's a bad user experience. For me, it's just a toast message, a constant toast message every time the app opens or resumes, just to go through and check that and to try to do that, because it's something we should all do. Like I said, even if it's a standalone application and you don't have a server, if you can have an FTP or something like that, you could put a file, and you don't have to have the whole CMS thing unless you want to, unless you're giving it to a client. But you have something with just a file that it just checks to say, should it upgrade? Because you're going to have a breaking change at some point, or something where you're going to have these reviews that come in for older versions of the app, and you need to get people upgraded. But let's see. Morris says, yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, thanks, Morris. My favorite YouTube developer, boxer. The boxing. So here's the thing. The next time you see me talking about getting older, I got to get dentures. I'm getting dentures next week. So my voice I might have trouble talking next week. But yes. So the boxing, I haven't been doing it as much as I was before. I definitely haven't been sparring because I went to the dentist and he said I have this fake bridge here that, I'm afraid of getting knocked out. So I've kind of been, but I'm still doing the bags and doing all that stuff, which is so much fun. Any of you guys, if you want to get into boxing, do boxing. Muscle weighs a lot. I am putting on more muscle, but dude, the stomach it's like you said, Morris, I'm well fed. I think where I find myself doing it, suck in, and I nearly did it. I put the camera over here, like to do the, like I thought, I won't just use the webcam. I'll do this, and then as soon as I start, I'm thinking, I look at myself sideways, going, "Ooh, damn." Anyway, Prithvi, hey Eric, it's been a long time. Yeah, it has. I need to get my mojo back. You know what it is? And you guys probably, I mean, everyone knows what this is like, where you get that imposter syndrome, where you get that thing where you're like, dude, who am I to talk like about this kind of stuff? I mean, I just talk about the same stuff again and again and again, and you guys aren't interested in that. And then I get into my own head, and you start doing that thing, and you think, well, let's do a live stream, and let's see what happens. Let's see, who feels like chatting. So, so I appreciate you guys showing up. Morris says, I'm in my 50s and I decided to get a college degree before I start freelancing. Should finish in 2 years. That's cool, but can you start freelancing while you're doing the college degree? I mean, because there's got to be something you could do to, to just start pushing forward. I mean, you could either take on something like a 2-year college degree. You're going to study lots of different subjects, presumably. My degree was in U.S. history, which is, So, but presumably you'll have certain things that you get really good at. Like, could you do like a bit of database design or a bit of, whatever, and just sort of start to put stuff out there. And just as soon as you start building that portfolio, because freelance is freelance. Freelance could be like 2 hours, at night, put something up on Upwork, all that kind of stuff. So you get that practical experience while you're getting the actual educational experience. And then you've also got, again, the last time we talked, the last live stream, by the way, don't anybody ask me about the Bitcoin challenge or the Bitcoin, that book, because I started listening to it and I've only got like an hour into it. So that's what we talked about last time. I kind of feel like, I think that's put me out from doing the live stream too, because I'm like, I haven't done my homework. But no, I'm in, all this stuff with the Chat GPT. Last time we had a live stream, I was like, yeah, it's okay. It's kind of cool, but it's frequently wrong, all this kind of stuff. And now I'm thinking, no, I think, I really had a turnaround with it when I started using it in anger in the past few weeks, thinking, okay, no, this helps me validate my assumptions on what the code should do. It might generate ideas for how I should approach a problem, or even just create it for me, and I could do that. So it's knowing what I'm creating so that I can actually, massage it and do all that kind of stuff. So, so if you could start doing that, the freelancing, then, perfect. And you get get that 2-year degree too. I mean, and Liam's here. Hey, Liam, how's it going? So yeah, I mean, because that's the thing about the degree. I don't know. I always say this. I have never been asked for a degree, but I also get, if you're doing it for the education, then that's perfect. So you get that one little thing in there. I mean, again, we talk about imposter syndrome. Like, to actually have something with a piece of paper that says, yes, he knows this, would go a long way if you have a trouble just getting that kind of freelance gigs and everything like that. Degree will be in programming, self-paced, online. We'll probably just do schoolwork 24/7. Dude, live a little. Come on. Now, for me, so my thing is, I don't know if I should tell you guys. Oh, yeah, sure. So me, last year when I turned 50, I thought, a couple years ago I started the boxing, and that was totally new to me. I am not a tough guy. I am the kind of guy who, if I bang my shin on a coffee table, I think I broke my leg. I'm soft. So I thought the boxing was something I wanted to try as I get older, and and it's kind of exciting to do that and to go, and especially when I was sparring every week, because then it would be like I'd have these bruises and everything, and it was just fun. It was just fun. Now I'm taking a stand-up class on Saturdays, so for the next couple months, and that's something that's like another challenge to myself. And it's always that thing where I thought, hitting that milestone of the 50th birthday, I want to try to do stuff that I haven't done before. I want to travel more. I want to travel more. I want to try new things. I would like to get up to 200 pounds. No, that was unintentional. So just, I'm enjoying it. Let's see. But yeah, 24/7. A degree is a 4-year degree. I want one because I was told I was too dumb to get one. I'm already a millionaire. Ooh, nice. Well, that's good. Let's see. Liam said, good man. I get the feeling the fact that we all show up, you should give you the validation you need, and don't sweat the Bitcoin stuff. Thanks. No, you know what I do? Because from like 2017 or 2018, for like 2 years, I was doing the daily video. And that's where you get the momentum. That's where I got good at video editing. Get decent at video editing, start thinking about what kind of stuff I could talk about. And I think it was just, it was right, I think it was in 2019 where I stopped doing them daily. I think I did I remember doing the 600 episode of the daily one. And I remember thinking I had to we were supposed to go, the Brexit was supposed to happen, and it didn't. It was dragged out for a while, and we had this and I built up the team. So I had an office, the big office, and 2 people working in the office with me and everything like that. And then the client projects dried up because I didn't have, it's one of those things. It's hard fought lessons where I didn't have recurring revenue. I just had revenue. So I got to find the next project, otherwise I'm not going to be able to pay everybody. And then when the project started to dry up, or they would take too long in terms of scope creep and everything like that, I had to cut the team, and it was difficult to do the videos and be and just when at the same time I'm having the conversation saying, look, I'm sorry, I gotta I can't keep you on the team and everything like that. And even last year, like I said, I had the team in the Philippines. In the end, it was just 3 of us. And then last year was just I'm bleeding cash. I should bring on more client work, but the client work gets a little bit more. It can be very difficult if you find the right clients. And it was just sort of this thing where I just sort of run out of steam a little bit. And then so that got difficult to do the videos when you're doing that. And then I've got personal things and everything like that, but nothing major. But yeah, I appreciate it. But I do think what I'm saying is I'm always saying I need to get back into doing daily or 3 times a week or whatever. Because the last video I did the one on ChatGPT on Friday, and the one I did before that, I think it was Valentine's Day. I was in February. But I appreciate that. Thanks, Liam. Let's see. You skipped my earlier message. Oh, did I? MD. I may not. The last earlier message I see, MD, is the one you say about installing old version of the app. Where are they downloading from, and how can I prevent it? That's what I was saying. They could be getting it from Google Play, and they can't upgrade because they might still be available on Google Play on those old versions if they have a phone that doesn't support the latest version, or they could have all those other stuff like the APK. God, what is it? There's all those APK Pure and all that stuff. Those mirror sites out there, and I think that's one of those things where you could, if you enforce the actual local install, and then also just to make sure that they upgrade to have that check back to the server. So if they check back to the server and they're on an old version of the application, you could just either shut it down or whatever. You could have that thing. So what I had was I had a should upgrade and a must upgrade. So a should upgrade is a toast message saying, okay, you're on an old version of the app. I'll just show a toast message to say you should upgrade. And a must upgrade is not going any further. It's such a huge breaking change where it's either going to crash on the phone because if it's standalone, if there's a server, if the API is just too different. If I didn't do it in a way that was versioned, I could be okay, I need to move everybody on from that old version to the new version. So that's why I have that. So is that the message I skipped? If I haven't, can you put it again? Because I don't see it here on my thing. Let's see. Mega Man says, "Did you ever implement subscriptions in your apps?" No, not on mine. Just client applications I have, and those seem to be going pretty well. But yes. Morris says, "Daily videos take a toll on your ability to work." That's true, but it was also the fun part of the day. It was kind of that thing where. See, my thing was, doing the daily videos was me thinking, okay, I had this list of things I would like to talk about, and I would just do it. And I would and so I was always I'd be driving someplace, and I'd be looking for someplace to if you guys could do this, it's so much fun because you're driving someplace thinking, ooh, there's a field and there's nobody around, and I could just set up the tripod and just talk about this thing I want to talk about, and then you just do that real quick, and then you take it home and you edit it. And sometimes people will say, yeah, you know what? You should do higher quality stuff. You should do and it was I'd either have to slow down and do higher quality stuff, or or just, you know, get used to just doing it frequently. So my whole thing was doing it frequently, and I think when I slowed down, it was like it got harder to do it because everything was like, when I was doing it daily, there was nothing too small to talk about. Like, you guys, if you don't like it, you don't like it. I got tomorrow. Tomorrow might be better. And when I was doing it like less frequently, it's like when you start thinking, you know, oh, is this good enough? Is this good enough as a topic? Well, maybe I'll just wait a little while. Maybe just, and then you never actually do it. Let's see. But yeah, you're right. Kevin, how's it going? I hope everything's going well in Florida. Let's see. MD says, speaking of U.S. history, have you seen the John Adams miniseries on HBO Max? It's very interesting. Is that the one from back in? That's not a new one, is it? This is the. Are you talking about the one with Paul Giamatti, who played John Adams? That was really good. I love that series. Yeah. But if there's a new one, I think that was like, it's got to be at least 15 years ago or something that came out. Prifsy says, I launched my new app. I built it in Flutter. I'd love your feedback if possible. Sure, let's have a look at it. Okay, yeah, let's see. We'll have a look at it here. Morris says, I worked in AI since the 80s. This new AI is the first time I've been impressed. Recent AI is getting interesting. I know, this is it. When we talk about, like I said, the blue collar jobs through automation and like the, you know, blue collar jobs were all lost, manufacturing jobs and everything, and the powers that be were kind of like, well, you know what, you just need to educate yourself and you know, move into a new field, as if, you know, and now automation is going to go after the educated people. Well, not the educated people, that's condescending to say, because there's a lot of really educated people who prefer, you know, to work with their hands and all that kind of stuff, but it's going after the white collar jobs, those, you know, those snooty whatever marketing people who think they're just above everybody else or whatever, and then now the system will have to change in some way. I don't know if that's like, this is just my opinion, by the way. I make apps. That's my thing. But I keep thinking, you know, universal basic income, all that kind of stuff, thinking at some point we get to the point where we're going to need something like that, because, you know, it's getting harder and harder to stay marketable and everything. The video I made the other day about ChatGPT was not, you know, was to go away from it being scaremongering and, you know, it's after our jobs. But I do think there'll be a lot more jobs lost because of, you know, because you just don't need as many people when you got those kind of tools at your disposal. It'd be like, you know, back in the old days when everyone was farmers, and now, you know, you don't need that many farmers because technology has allowed fewer people to do a lot more. And I think that's going to be the same with development. And I think we could either watch it happen or we can jump on it and be the person that they do. So let's see. Okay. Glyph 3D design and art. Is this is this on Google Play? Let's see. I was gonna do some ChatGPT stuff, but like it's down. Even though I have ChatGPT Plus. Let's see. Glyph. Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna share my screen here. Let me just make sure I have no. See. All right, here we go. Can you see? So here we go. Glyph 3D design and art. I like this. Let's see. This is it, isn't it, Prifty? I think this is a really good design. I mean, I'm just thinking. Look at the screenshots here. Look at this. That's beautiful. Unlimited customization options. Look at that. Yeah, you could have just done the screenshots, but look at that. That's really good. Convert text to image to 3D. Oh, I think this is really good. Okay, let's have a look at the so can I do this on? Sorry, I did that wrong. GLYF. Like on the App Store here. Yeah, okay, cool. So they allowed you to get through this with the same screenshot designs here, because sometimes they could be a bit funny on Apple. That's awesome. I think it's not cancel. Let's see, glyph. So I mean, you could use a video, but okay. Actually, let's go through. I'm like, let's have a look at each one of these. Create 3D, stunning 3D designs in minutes. Unlimited customization options. Yes, that seems like it's not so much of a second screenshot thing, but convert text and image to 3D. 1,000 models and fonts to choose from. Access all premium features. Experience immersive 3D effect. How does that work? Because I know the screenshot shows them flying out, but is that actually what happens, or is it? Glyph offers a way to create 3D design art quickly, easy to use interface. It simplifies the 3D design process. It was use any skill level to create 3D design in minutes. This would be something that I think would be good to have a video on, because I know that it looks good and everything, but and again, I think you did a great job on this. But I'm thinking more in terms of, if I was going to download this, I kind of want to know how does it work? Does it do, because I know, just maybe like a nice little, thing. I mean, the nice thing about if you did a video on the Google Play side, obviously you could do it as a YouTube video. On iOS, you have to do that stupid 30 seconds. It has to be portrait. It has to be all that kind of stuff. But if you do a YouTube video, you could also use that as an ad and put that in like in Facebook ads and stuff like that. So what is your in-app purchases? Let's see. There used to be a way that you see the in-app purchases. So we got the trailer's above. Oh yeah, thanks, Prissy. Of course it is. Duh. Okay, yeah, I forgot. I forgot how Google Play worked. Okay, I'm gonna turn the sound off though, just because I got copyright strikes on this before. All right, let's see. Oh, I see. So it uses the phone's gyro sensor and the trailer's above. Cool. Oh, that's cool. You did that in Flutter? That's pretty cool. Yeah, that looks awesome. Let's see. Okay, let's go back to. Let's see. I think that was really cool. What do the rest of you guys think? Morris says, Alan Turing is one of my heroes. Maybe go on the Bletchley Park tour if you can. I did that last year, and it was really cool. Yeah, no, that was awesome. Let's see. Morris says, every job on Fiverr will be replaced by AI. Yes, and I think about a lot of the Upwork stuff. So for me, when I was like, if I was working with an overseas developer, and it wasn't us, it was like, their code would be okay, but a lot of times it'd be buggy. A lot of times it'd be just sort of rambling and everything like that. So it was like, but I kind of accepted it because, okay, whatever, they're making whatever, $10 an hour or something, or even, even less, maybe a little bit more. And they're just, they're just whatever. So I could get them to do the bulk work of it, and then I could go through and make the fixes and everything afterwards. Hopefully, if it's not just a terrible, terrible mess. And now that kind of thing kind of bugs me. I also know that there was this one project, actually quite a few like this, but it was in an investment bank, and we had this guy who went, we were doing like a web portal for like some department, and the owner of the department head came down and goes, it should almost be like cinematic, like curtains open up. So so this developer went and found some a script online that opens up the curtains, like it has curtains and it opens up. It was like he demoed it and everyone was like, God, this looks awful. And then somebody finally said, okay, well maybe we could have it open up faster. First of all, it was a dumb idea, right? Once even the business owner saw it, it was like he actually lost his. I think he was let go after that because it was the kind of thing. It was like, it was so bad, but like. So I said, well, maybe you can move faster. And he didn't know how to do it. He didn't understand how the code worked. It was JavaScript, so he had access to the code, but he didn't know how to do it. He found something and he didn't understand how it worked. And to me, that's the big problem with like using tools that generate code for you, or just go and find code online, is because there's going to be something that goes wrong, something that needs to be fixed. You need to explain why something works the way it does. And if you can't read that code, if you don't understand why that code works the way it does, then you're just, I mean, that's terrible. You've probably all been in this situation where you find a bit of code and you're like, it's a language that you don't, like I've done this with, I'm trying to think batch scripts. Like with batch scripts, like when I tried for a while, I tried to get into being a Linux guy. Dude, I want to be a Linux guy. I'm gonna be so awesome. And then I found those batch scripts and bash command lines, and I start putting stuff in there. I don't understand how anything works. And then of course something doesn't work, and I don't know why, because basically all I'm doing is trying to just paste stuff in, and that's not what a developer does. A developer has to know how it works, and if you have something that can actually generate that code for you, but you have to know what it does. This is why I'm not worried about clients going through and saying, oh, I just create this app myself. Like I just tell, I'll just tell the AI what to do and it'll build it for me, because there's a lot of things that you have to understand about how things work and why things work, and understand the hardware, the capabilities of the phone, everything like that, and also just the basic project structures and things like that. So I'm not so worried about that. What I am worried about is there's going to be less need for a development team of 5 people or 10 people, or even 2 people, when one person can get done more than that. Now my goal is to be that one person, who could produce more. So that's why I'm trying to embrace it really well. Liam says, I specifically like your channel doesn't feel overproduced and feels more honest. I also talk about the difficulties. You also talk about the difficulties of going wrong. It's got to be coming up to 10 years I've watched now. Oh, thanks, Liam. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, it was like I think it was 2014 I started doing the videos. And, so it's like I haven't talked about AdMob in a long time, and things to sort of do it. And every so often when you think about, I never wanted to be like, again, I keep getting emails from people like sponsorship things, like, and I'm like, it kind of feels like it's nicer just to, like, when I said doing it every day, I could go through the whole day and not talk to anybody. Oh, I mean, I talk to my kids or whatever, like, but if they're not around, it's like I could go the whole day without talking to anybody. And doing the video kind of helped me just with my, just have a chat. It was a very one-sided chat. It's kind of nice because you never interrupted, but it was just fun to do. And I keep thinking, if I sold it, if it became something different, then that would be different. I mean, that would be like I said, I would make maybe, I don't know, $100, $200 a month for like doing the videos every single day. So it wasn't like it paid a lot. We just have the ads on there. I do, like, there's a link in the description. Like if anybody wanted to hire me for an hour to do consulting, it's like $200. That's probably happened about half a dozen times, which is nice. But it's that thing where I don't push it, because it's like, it's nice just to discuss this kind of stuff, just to have these conversations, and I really appreciate that, Liam. Let's see. I got the trailers above. Yeah, we saw that one. MD says, sorry, Eric. My limited YouTube app to 1 hour a day. 5 minutes left before it shuts down. Okay, we're really quick. I've done that. I've done the limitation thing on my phone, and I was like, and then as soon as it's shut off, I'm like, I'm turning that off. Let's see. Bhupinder, hey, hi, after a long time. Hey, it's been too long. I know. I'll get my mojo back. All right, that's it. Comeback trail. All right. How many times have I said that? Okay, I'll get more videos out. We'll do the live stream. Okay, we'll do a live stream next week, definitely. So yeah, we'll get back on it, and I'm gonna lose some weight too, but the muscle has to stay. See, Prifsty says, thank you. Yes, I did with Flutter and JavaScript. I think that's awesome. I think it's really good. Let's see. Bhupinder says, can you suggest some good ad network other than AdSense? Well, I think are you talking about for making money, like actually displaying the ads? Or are you talking about like actually like placing ads for your application? So for me, AdMob was the thing I use the most with my apps. I tried using AdSense on like websites and stuff before, and it just seemed like it was such a small amount of money that was like not even worth it. But you got all the other, you got the Facebook ads, you got like lots of other ad networks out there, and they're always changing. I mean, I haven't seen any of the new ones lately that have, but let's see. Mars says his job was curtains. It was one of these things. Do you know what? To this day, I feel kind of bad about it because I remember him showing me. I'm like, all right. I thought it looked stupid. But what I should have done as a good friend, well, I mean, it wasn't the same. What I should have said was like, I think that looks terrible. I'm thinking, well, yeah, okay, well, you know, if that's what he said he wanted, that's what you think. But then like so the head of the department, he came in, and it was like this thing. It was like this embarrassing thing because like, every time you navigated to a new page, it was like these curtains go up, and it was like slow too, and he didn't know how to do it. But yes, so that was, I can remember the manager of the development team. He was like talking to me. He goes, "Did you see what he did?" I said, "Yeah, I did." He goes, "That was awful. I don't think it's." And it was just this thing where it was like, I should have said something earlier, and I didn't. Let's see. Chanel. Hey, Chanel. How's it going? Hey, Eric. AI could be the end of apps or the Play Store. I don't know, because I think AI is going to be that thing that I think it could be the end of a lot of development jobs. But I think a lot of these apps are... No, because we still have applications. We still have software that we need. We still have stuff there. I mean, AI could do... AI is like... I think... AI cannot replace an accounting system. It could like or a game or whatever. It could enhance it. Like it could be used to either create it or to enhance it. So like if you had an accounting system and you had some sort of AI in there that could like detect any anomalies or something like that, that would be really cool. But I think you still need software. You still need that kind of individual repositories of data that companies and organizations can use, or even people use. One of the things I don't like about, over the last few years, we've been seeing the face app that makes you look old or whatever, or the there's that one I keep seeing where you put any photo into it and it makes it sing like sea shanties or whatever, which is really, really cool. I mean, you have that weird thing where like, do I really want to upload an image, like my image or one of my kids' images, up to their servers? And you have all those privacy things. And when you get with corporate compliance, that's really a big issue. Like they still need that. They still need those applications. They still need the individual software. Let's see. Moore says code AI will probably be able to verify that code compiles and runs. Yes. So that's the thing. I've been using ChatGPT, and I keep looking Copilot, and I'm thinking, is Copilot too specific than for what I need? And but that's the thing I want to look at next. I'm genuinely, in my mind, this is I've been thinking about this week. Now that I'm pretty much just on my own again, all by myself, is I would like to use Midjourney to create thumbnails for the videos, and be able to use like ChatGPT to be able to like say, this is what I talk about. Here's the description, everything like that. I don't like the idea of having ChatGPT write things for me and me passing it off as my own. I've done that. Actually, no, I do that on the Overpass website, because a lot of those articles on the blog are basically just not, I want to say clickbait, but it's there to SEO friendly. Just try to get Google rankings up, everything like that. I don't think there's a whole lot of people reading those, but I try to make sure. I do try to make sure that all that stuff is good. But when it comes to like my own personal blog, when it comes to these videos, because like that, we need to be able to value the stuff that's personal. I don't like the idea of I know they talk about G Suite being able to, it's going to integrate their AI so you can have like respond to emails and stuff like that. I don't like that. I think if something's supposed to be your voice, it should be your voice. And that's why, so a lot of the tutorial stuff out there I'm seeing, it's like, just have this AI do everything for you. And it's like, I don't agree with that. Let's see. Where was I? Hey, Matthew, how's it going? Hey, Matthew's here. Let's see. Bobby says, has anyone built a complex with ChatGPT? You're talking about like a complex application? I don't know if it could, because I was thinking about that. I think like the examples I was using in the video I did on Friday, it was like I would create a class, I would create the CRUD functions, the service class, I could create the forms, I could do all that stuff. Basically what I'm doing is I'm creating the ingredients that I'm using to put everything together myself. Kind of, the same way we do with like a lot of things. Basically I'm creating the ingredients and I'm putting it all together myself. I don't know if I would trust it to say, okay, build me the entire project structure and all that kind of stuff. And so I don't know if anybody's done anything like that. It probably could. I think we're probably a few years from that. I mean, when we think about like if you create a Flutter project or an Ionic project or React Native project, it gives you that boilerplate code. In Flutter, it's that the stateful widget where you could the counter. I click this button 5 times. Imagine when you do the create, you could give it as much information as you want, and it would create a lot of that stuff already. Like you would say something like, I want to create an application. I want to create an inventory application where it reads from an external API. Here's the JSON that it retrieves from it. I want to display everything in a list on one page. I want to be able to click on each item to be able to go to edit that item. Or no, see the details for that item, see where that stock is actually located, how many items, be able to edit it, delete it, or whatever. I want the authentication to be using Firebase authentication. I want to have it using Google, Facebook, whatever, and just be able to put all that stuff in there and have it generate that kind of project for you. And then you go back through and start saying, okay, well, I'm going to put the corporate colors in there. Like that kind of stuff, I see it as probably doing very soon. But again, it's one of these things. I'm as just excited about it as you guys are. But I think I don't know if, like, to me, I need to know what it does. The same if I hire a developer. One of the things that I've always been big on is if I hire a developer to do a project for me, I need to understand what that code does. I need to be able to read it and understand it. Like it's not like which is a lot of times why people hire me because I say, okay, well, there's gonna be a team over in Vietnam that's gonna be doing this, but I have to know what it works. If there's something that breaks on a Tuesday afternoon, I have to be able to jump in there and fix it, or I have to be able to do whatever. And let's see. Matthew says my app is taking in $200 a month. Awesome. That's really good. I mean, that's decent. I mean, look, you got the trickle coming through. You just need to come in like more. You get more of a flood. And because of this, where that revenue is coming from. You can start looking at if it's ad revenue, which countries is it coming through, which placements is it coming through. How can you double down on that kind of stuff? If it's like one country that's doing a lot more, you could even like translate the app into that language of whatever country that is. You could, if it's like in-app purchases, you can say, okay, what other in-app purchases you could do? Like, you're getting data in. You're seeing that vein of gold, and you're like, okay, and you start to see the pattern. You can start to work with it. Amen, how's it going? I don't think of AI as most people think. Things changes, but don't go the way people imagine. Never. No, that's the thing. I think it's not a miracle, but it's pretty good. It's this. I'm trying to like. It's weird when you start thinking, okay, I don't want people to lose their jobs, but at the same time, I want people to produce cooler, better things, right? And I think it's going to be harder for people who are used to doing a 6-month project. I think I've talked about this in a video before, where sometimes when people quote on stuff, they're just used to things taking 6 months or 8 months, or and we got to start thinking, okay, actually, no, this could probably be a week. Actually, a lot of times the project is like a week or like, a few weeks or like even a month, and it's the client testing and the client, the scope creep and all that stuff which spreads all that stuff out, which is something like if you do client work, something to definitely look out for. But yeah, I think it's not it's not going the way people imagine, but it's definitely interesting. It's so, I mean, it's yeah, and the thing is about our livelihoods as developers. We still have to keep an eye on that. We still have bills to pay. We have families to feed. We have all that kind of stuff. So it's like, either you could sit by the sidelines and hope everything's going to be okay. You could talk about how, well, it's not the same quality as I can do, and which is probably true, but it's a lot faster and it's a lot cheaper. It's that thing where you could say, if I'm a furniture maker and I make handcrafted furniture, why would you go to Walmart and buy a chair when the chair I make is so much better? And the reason is because the chair I make costs $500 and the one in Walmart costs $15. So it's that thing where we have to keep up with that. Let's see. Megan, have I started using Maui yet? I tried to, but I was trying to take an existing project and move it from just Xamarin Forms into Maui, and a lot of the plugins I was using, a lot of the libraries weren't supported in it. So I haven't really used it in Anger yet. It's something that, I had. So I've got at least 5 projects on my hard drive where it's like, okay, Maui test project. I'm going through and trying I like the structure. I like all that kind of stuff. But I think for me, it was like a lot of the stuff I have, I'm using like legacy, barcode scanners or GPS scanner, like all this kind of stuff where I'm like, I need to wait for all that stuff to catch up to the Maui versions. But I haven't quite done it. And Bobby Generic says complex app. I mean, I think it'd be more like, I don't know if anybody's creating anything really complex like that. And another thing we think about this is, like how much do we do is actually unique to each project. I've had I remember talking to a client about this, I guess 5-6 years ago, where they said, well, we would not want anyone to get hold of our code, and which is true. Definitely, code security is like a big thing, right? But there's also things where the code itself is not as important unless it's something really proprietary and really like uses strong algorithms and stuff like that, which is fine, like that kind of stuff. But a lot of times it's just save to a database, read from a database, display, all that kind of stuff. And it's more the marketing and the usability and all that kind of stuff. So. But then when you get something like AI where it says, create this for me, and it creates it, and you're like, okay, so there's like, all that ingenuity I used to put into this kind of stuff, it's making these assumptions, just to produce it. So like, it's going to create something, like Bobby Generic, it's going to create something very generic, right? As opposed to something very specific. And, so yeah, I mean, I think it could be. Let's see. Matt says, where have you been? I've been around. I've lost my mojo. I told you, I said this earlier, like, every so often where you just kind of like, you just get into your own head, you get the imposter syndrome, you get the bit like, I used to do the videos every day, and now I'm like, you guys don't want to hear from me anymore. I go, it's like, and then I just sort of like, you get in a slump. You get in a slump and you're like, I should do the live stream today. Should I? No, but what if nobody shows up? I am so glad you guys are here today. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I've kind of been in a funk, I guess, a little bit. I've also been, what have I been doing? I've been taking a class on Saturdays, and that's taking some of my time. I'm taking, I may do a little dating, which takes a bit of time. I've been doing, I've just been sort of just living life, and I think, and I keep saying I need to get back on there. Like that ChatGPT video I did on Friday was the first time in a month, and I started filming that a week before, and that's where I filmed all the bits where I'm this, and then my son came in. I kind of stopped, and I kept thinking I probably won't even bother with it, and then I finished it. I did this stupid thing. In all honesty, I put the same shirt on I was wearing the week before so it didn't mess up the continuity. I had to get a haircut, and I didn't get a haircut all week because I was like, nope, because I filmed that one part. I want to do the other part, the beginning and the ending. So anyway, so yes, I appreciate you guys being here. So let's see. More says, thumbs up, everybody. Yeah, thank you, everybody, for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Let's see. I like the video, and so can you. I like that. Let's see. Mega Man says, doesn't good warn against AI-generated contents? Doesn't good warn against AI-generated content? Oh, Google. Do you mean Google? It probably I should. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm wondering how it knows in terms of Google, because it's like it's not plagiarized, it's generated. So I'm wondering, like, to me, okay, so if I write something, I know it's unique because I wrote it, because I know it didn't exist, and then it just flowed out of my head and all this kind of stuff. If I hire somebody else to write something for me, a lot of the times they're going through the motions. It's a listicle, and it's like whatever. It's like some sort of generated content. I mean, it's not generated, but it's like somebody doing it by hand. But is what they're doing all that much different than what the AI would be doing? Saying, okay, I've got these 5 points, I'm going to put them together in a saying and all this stuff. So, whereas if I talk about something, I try to think about the structure, and like if you see something written by me, it's been written by me. And that's just, if it's something that's written by AI, I usually will say something, or something like that. So, and I've never been, I can remember once Tim Ferriss, like when 4 Hour Workweek came out, and his blog was really, really popular. I mean, he's still really popular, but I can remember one blog post he wrote where he said, "This is the real Tim Ferriss. I've had virtual assistants writing every blog post for me for the last 18 months. Right. And it was like, it did not land. Like, he removed that blog post because it was just like, I think a lot of people got upset because we wanted, like, we're reading something we think is from him, and it turns out it's not from him, and he thinks, see how great outsourcing is, and we're like, no, we thought you were you. So that's why I do think, I'm wondering how Google could tell if something's written by AI as opposed to written by a virtual assistant who basically does the same thing. CH Development, hey, how's it going? Says the chances of AI replacing developers is small. AI is more likely to fancy Stack Overflow, but it won't replace developers anytime soon. I disagree with that. I think it will replace. What I think it will do, I don't think it will replace developers. You need developers. I do agree with that. But I think one developer is going to be a lot more productive than they were before. So you're not going to need as many developers. I think that's going to be the thing. I think development teams are going to go from, we talk about, the app market or the developer market being too saturated. It's really going to get saturated if you think about it. If you're a business owner and you could hire, you have to hire, 4 developers to work on a project, or you could say you got this one developer who's using, AI generated content, and he's more like, he's using all the different tools at his disposal, and he could get done, rather than say, okay, I need this module written for this application, I'll get this guy to write it, and he goes away for a couple of days and he comes back with it. So I could do this in AI, look it over the same as I would have if when he hands his stuff in, and I could just start doing that. So you're going to have like smaller development teams. So I do think it's going to be, I think it's again, and like I said, the last live stream I said, I kind of dismissed it a bit. Like, it's cute, but you can do a much better job coding by hand. And now I'm thinking that's, all those people who at Kodak who said, you know what, digital photography is not nearly as good as film, which was true, right? Or, you could be people saying, well, this isn't nearly as good as this, this is, and in the end, it just passes them by. What was it? Blockbuster had a chance to buy Netflix, but they're like, nope, they don't have a problem with their business model. Streaming is just, it's just not there. And then now look. So I don't want to, as a developer, as a professional, I don't want to be in that situation where technology passes me by and I'm thinking like, yeah, you know what? AI is good, but doesn't beat a real good, honest developer. And you're like, yeah, but the real good, honest developer costs 60, 80, 100,000 a year. And AI, and you could have that one guy. You could have 5 people like that, or you could have one guy who uses these AI tools, which are dirt cheap in comparison. And I'm not trying to be doomsday. I'm thinking like this is like it's not. It's just going to be like more competitive. Let's see. Omar says, I would not build a product on AI unless I hosted the AI. I don't want your back end turned off by another company. I've been looking at that too. I'm thinking like, because I know OpenAI has their own independent stuff, and I was thinking about recommending it to a client for doing their support stuff, but I'm like, I don't necessarily want that exposing their data to that. And it's like, I'd rather have like a sandboxed AI instance that that if it's going to have their data, it should only have their data and not anybody else's. So yeah, I kind of get that too. YA says, hey Eric, any tips on Google ads for promoting apps? I can't manage ad keywords, my ads for some reason. Yeah, I think it's, so for Google ads, I think, well, obviously the biggest tip I have is to like, to look at the click-through rate, right? Don't put a big budget on it. Try out an ad and put a very small daily budget on it and see how those click rates perform, right? You're basically you're putting together a pipeline, and like if you were to do the plumbing in your house, which I don't, that's how manly I am. I've never done this. I have tried to fix a leak and flooded my kitchen once. But so say you're building a pipe from outside the house to inside the house, right? You don't build that pipe and then turn it on full blast. You turn it, you build the pipe and then you trickle it a little bit, and you think, does this work the way that it should? Are there any leaks? Is everything as optimized as it should be? So that's what you're doing, that small budget. You're like going like a little bit, and if your click-through rate is fine, if you have no leaks, if everything is like people are seeing it, they're clicking on all this kind of stuff, perfect. Then you can start putting more money into it. Otherwise, you have to keep tweaking it a little bit and massaging a little bit. One of the things I found with that worked best in terms of well, this was more Facebook ads, was that if I asked a question in the ad and try to get people to share it, or say answer in the comments, then that worked a lot better. I paid a lot less for the ad. I had a lot more of the natural sharing going on with it than I did with if I just said, hey, download this app. Hey, do you want to learn Vietnamese? Download this app. Instead of, I put something in there like, what's the Vietnamese word for cinema? And then it's like, answer in the comments. And then of course people were doing that. And of course, if people start doing that, it started to get a little bit more traction. It started to share a bit more. And it was just a lot. It was just, it was thinking about it not as a, hey, download my app, but like a, how can you get them to think about it in different ways? I don't know if that makes any sense or if that helps at all, but let's see. Matthew says, I'm getting used, ready to use conversation. I don't even know what that is. What is that? Conversation. Q on. Conversation with the Q. Google seems to want to correct this for me. Oh, in-app subscription. Ooh, that's cool. Let me know how that goes. I'll have to have a look at that. Let's see. Prithvi says, while working on a new app, I use the AI to optimize the code, enhance app store description for ASO, create scripts, and voiceover tutorial videos. Ooh, nice. Well, that's pretty cool. What was I like? Is the voiceover? Is it the robotic sounding voice, or is it like actually? How did you use an app store description for ASO? I didn't even think about that. Oh, let's see. Yeah, that might be something worth. I might have to go look at some of my own links. So, like, if we were to do that, let me see. Let's see if ChatGPT is up and running now. Let's see. Are you there? No, I'm having trouble with ChatGPT now. That would be good. Just take your existing description, say, can you optimize this for App Store and for searchability? Bobby says, I tried to use it to build an app. I wasn't impressed. Yeah, for me, by the way, I finally made it. Making 5 figures a month. Ooh! My hit app is GPT based. Oh, is it really? That's awesome. I think my big thing, the revenue from my apps, I think, yeah, I topped at like 7 figures a month. It wasn't a big deal. I think mine was like, I think I was making about $6,000 a month, which is not, that good 4 figures. But that's awesome. That's really cool. Congratulations, Bobby. Let's see. It's a tool to help you build. It's not going to build things for you. Yeah, that's what I kind of think. It's like, that bit in Iron Man where he goes like, he's just sitting there and he's designing this suit and he goes, okay, generate this, throw in some race car red. That's the way I feel when I was using it, saying like, okay, I want to model with these properties and I want the property notify. I property notify changed. I notify property changed on it. I want the is dirty fields. I want all this kind of stuff, and just being able to do that and ask for that kind of stuff, and it generates this stuff, and you're looking at it thinking, oh, okay. And even like, how often have you said, oh, how do you connect to a database? How do you do whatever bit of code again? You say, show me how to do this. I have a project which I'm working on now, which for a client that they wanted to know whether something was technically possible in the Xamarin Forms using a UWP app, and I just asked ChatGPT. I said, yes, it is. Here's some code. And of course, I was able to just paste that code in, see if it worked, and then I could go back with a quote saying, okay, yes, this is possible. I need to do this, this, and this, but this is how much it's going to cost, which was a lot easier than the old days where it'd be like, I'm Googling stuff. I find stuff that's out of date. I have to you're reading a tutorial, and it's like you say, okay, first you connect to this, then you do this, then you do this, then you do this, and you try to put it all together, and it just took a lot longer. But let's see. Morris says, Code AI will probably be like the application generators in Laravel and Rails. Yeah, I think that's kind of the way that I'm seeing it. Like you have that boilerplate stuff, except the boilerplates. In Rails, you have that stuff where you add I remember in 2008 reading the Ruby on Rails book, and I remember thinking how cool the scaffolding was, just to be able to generate that stuff so quickly. And even like in SQL Server, or in .NET, you got the entity framework, all this stuff that does a lot of this kind of stuff for you. And for me, I think I love the idea of just saying, I got this code. So I had this one thing where I had this regular expression, and for some reason it was not allowing people to put in a value. And I'm looking at the regular expression was just something I found online. It was like huge, right? So I just said, okay, I'm trying to put this value through, and it's failing on this regular. This is my regex. This is what I'm trying to do. It's failing. Can you tell me why? I said, yes, because these characters here are not used. And it was just like, it was like that, right? Because it was a client thing. It was like, I didn't have to go through looking at it. I have to run several tests. I didn't have to do all kinds of stuff. And I don't know, you might be the kind of person who look at a regex and just know what it does. I never am. That seems to be the weirdest thing, right? I get, on the client, it's, in the browser, I use JavaScript. On the app, I use Dart or C#. On the server, I use Node.js. On the database, I use SQL. But regex, that's just way out there. Like that's a language I've never sat down and go, I'm gonna get really good at regex. I hardly ever, I use it only when I have to. See, I know that feeling. Let's see. Amor says, I need to take a cooking class or get married. Open with that. When you go on dates, open with that. Say, look, either we get married or I have to take a cooking class. No pressure. Let's see. Rodion Sabbath, hey, how's it going? It says, people are uploading generated content to the internet like crazy, and for some reason AI will feed on itself. We'll see how it turns out. That's true. I mean, okay, so the one thing I don't like about this is all these content people who are able to just generate stuff. But I kind of feel like we were doing that anyway. I mean, even like, I guess I'm kind of a, Gary Vee's okay, right? I like Gary Vee, but like his whole thing was to put out like 60 pieces of content a day. Do this. So like we're putting out so much stuff just to get noticed, where we're just like, there's too much junk out there, and AI is just going to like accelerate that. We're going to have to be the bit where we're reading something thinking, I wonder if this is actually somebody wrote this, or if this is actually someone's experience, or this is something that's just been generated. One of the things that, again, I've been on Audible for decades. I've got hundreds. I think I have hundreds and hundreds of audiobooks. I get 2 a month, and I just, and I noticed that there's too much of the reviews are fake, and that just, you might as well not have reviews. I can't rely on the reviews anymore because there's too much fake reviews in it. And when you see a couple fake reviews and you know that, and you could tell that they're fake, like all of them are within a 2-day period, and they're all very generic, and you're like, well, obviously this guy is paid for these fake reviews, and I can't trust this application, and so I would just, or this book, sorry, I can't trust this, this author or whatever, and so I just sort of push it aside. And this is what like AI is going to do too. We're going to have too much junk, so we can't trust the stuff that we actually need to trust. Let's see. Matthew says, I've never told you before. My app has several premium metals now for subscribers to appraise, like copper and iron. I charge $3.99 a month. Not too many takers yet, but some. Hopefully more soon. Well, that's cool. Morris says, I hear the Grammarly app is impressive. I like having it an on-call proofreader. Yeah, I'm a pro version Grammarly guy too. And again, Grammarly's like it uses AI, but it doesn't generate stuff for you. It's like it just checks things for you. It says like, this is clumsily worded. This is like this, but that doesn't make sense. You got the free version, which is decent, but you got the one that tell you could phrase this better. And it's one of those things where it's a suggestion, and sometimes you're like, no, I like the way it sounds, or no, I like the but I'm not gonna let some robot write what I'm writing. Let's see. CH Development says, I tried AI coding at the end could not even use a code. So I would say like AI is like WordPress website, and developers are like custom websites. Oh yeah. Wait, I tried AI coding at the end. I could not even use the code. So I would just say AI code is like a WordPress website with developers like custom websites. Maybe, but yeah, but I think it's the faster it learns. So the faster it learns, the more it can generate. So I took again, it's this thing that communicates via UDP, and I was given all the details in an email saying like, okay, this is like we're connecting on this port, on this frequency, all this stuff. So I was able to I put that in the ChatGPT, so generate me some code that does that. It comes back with it. I test it out. I could see everything it does. I could see where the variables are. I could tweak it if I need to, all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't like I wasn't able to use it, but it was a starting point. And sometimes it just quits halfway through. So, but let's see. Universal App Campaign versus Search Campaign. I think Search Campaign is better. I mean, I know Universal App Campaign because you could do like YouTube videos and stuff like that. But Matthew, take back what I said. I don't think I've ever done a straight out search campaign. I think every time I've done it, I've done a Universal App Campaign. Sigma Rule says, I text you on Instagram and I read your blogs. I saw your old videos. Thank you so much for being so true and genuine. Thanks, Sigma Rules. I appreciate that. Bobby says, thank ChatGPT. By the way, ChatGPT is down, but the API is up. Oh, okay. Yeah, and I'm trying to use it. I haven't really played around with the API. I've just been using the ChatGPT, and like I said, I'm paying $20 a month now. I thought, screw it. I might as well, if I'm going to use this as a tool, then I'm going to do that. So Privacy says, how to do the keyword research, then feed it into ChatGPT, different versions of the App Store description. For voiceover stuff, I use Murph AI. You can make it sound pretty realistic. I'm about to check that out because that's one of the things I can't stand. Like when you watch a YouTube video or like a TikTok or whatever, and it's like that generated voice. I'm like, so I know that's getting better and better. Let's see. Regex are precise but cryptic. Yeah, regex is like, yeah. I don't think. Let's see. I don't think I've ever written a regex from scratch ever in all my years. In all my years, I've never written a regex from scratch. I've tweaked them. I've got them from places. I've done. Maybe I have. But I have to use those websites where you go in and and where you have the test and you're like I can't just do it for like in an IDE. I have to go like some website where you just you put it in there and then you have their stuff and it will like check whether or not it actually goes through. But Theo Taylor is in the house. Hey, I'm late, however, in the house. Damn right. Let's see. Chaplain Andrew Kuslik. Hey, how's it going? Hey, how are you? You talked about Chat GPT again. my dad sent me that the other day. Like chat got comes in as, or the autocorrect. You got last video as AI. Sorry. Hey, how are you? You talked about chat GPT last video as AI. Is that where I could say, okay Google, open my app, and it does? Yeah, I mean you could. Yeah, but that's. I mean, we got that one thing where we got the okay Google, and you got Dialogflow, which is, it does use machine learning. It uses all that kind of stuff, but it's not nearly as cool. You can connect ChatGPT up to Dialogflow. I've been researching that today, but you have to pay per request or per 1,000 requests or something like that. And I haven't really thought through like the economics of it. Like it's one of those things where when you see like the pricing model and you're like, okay, how will I know how many requests I'd get, everything like that. But yeah, so it's, yeah, I mean, we had an application where we had an application on iPhone for an organization. They wanted to have it say, you know how it says, hey Siri, I wanted to say the name of the app, and then it just responds. And I said, you can't do that. The application, like the Google speakers are listening for one word. Google's listening for one word. Siri's listening for one word. They're not constantly listening to everything you say in order to know whether or not you're talking about that application. Yeah, so chat God. GPT. Yep. Yeah, that's what I said. Like my dad said that. Good video on chat God. But let me know if I answered that, Chaplain. I just want to make sure I got that right. Joe, welcome back, Eric. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. You know what I'm feeling? I'm getting my mojo back. Ooh, this is good. I'm so glad. I nearly didn't do this today. I nearly did not do the live stream today. So glad you guys are here. Let's see. Nezzy says, I use both Grammarly and ChatGPT for grammar correction. I've not used it for chat. I use, like I said, use Grammarly. And to be fair, Grammarly, I use Grammarly because I keep forgetting to cancel it before it renews. And I'm thinking, all right, I'm gonna have to write more stuff this year. But it's a good tool. Liam says ChatGPT quits. If it quits halfway through, you just type continue and it'll carry on where it left off. Yeah, no, I've been doing that. I mean, like, actually the first time I did it, I was like, what's going on? It continues. Great for long answers. I know. And Chaplin says, yes, she did. Oh, awesome. Cool. All right. Well, no, I really appreciate it. Like I said, I've been off my game recently. I'm thinking like, get too much in my own head, thinking like, do I even have anything to talk about on the live stream? As if I ever had anything to talk about on a live stream. It's just, we're just developers. We get together, we shoot the bull. We just, we hang out, but I really appreciate you guys being here. And thanks everybody for the thumbs up and everything like that. I'll schedule. I'm going to schedule one after this. I'm going to schedule one for next Monday. If you guys want to show up, that'll be fun. And although it's not Easter next week, is it? No, I don't think it is. Actually, no. Next Monday, I'm getting dentures. I don't know if I can talk properly, but we might just give it a go. Let's see. Go. Oh, Emily's here. Hey, only really just discovered your channel. Really enjoyed this. I'm glad you enjoyed it. All right, so I think that's the last question. I think we're gonna end it here. Hey everybody, thank you very much for joining the live stream. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for everything. I'm gonna do this more. I'm gonna do it next Monday. And you know what? We'll see. If I'm not in pain from my dentures and my teeth being ripped from my gums, I'll do the live stream next week. But otherwise, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll talk to you guys again next time.